We're going to start Tehillim. We'll start with the beginning, Aleph. Asher ish asher halach ba'atzas rishoyim u'v'derech hatoim lo amad v'noshe v'leitzim lo yoshav ki im v'toras Adonai chetzo u'v'soros yega yom v'loyla v'hoyok eit shosu al palgei mayim asher pir yoted b'ito v'alei lo yibol v'chol asher yaseh yatzliach lo chen rishoyim ki im kamot asher tiftenu ruach Al kain lo yokumu rishon mishpat v'chatom v'adas tzadikim ki yodei Adonai derech tzadikim v'derech rishoyim toved lo morog shugoyim u'lu'umim yegurik yisyatzu malchei eretz v'roznim no sodu yochad al Adonai v'al Mashicho ninadcha esmos rosemo v'nashlicho mimenu avosemo Yoshev Hashemayim yischok Adonai yilag lomo Oz yidaber elemo v'hapo v'charono yivalemo v'ani nosachti malki al tzion har kodeshi asapro el chok Adonai Omar Elai b'ni ato ani hayom yilidticho sha'al mimeni v'yetno goyim nachlosecho v'achuzoscho afsei oretz torohem b'shevet barzel kechli yotzer tenapseim v'yat tomolochem haskilu yivosu shoftei oretz Ivdu Adonai b'yiro v'kilu bir odo. Nash uvar pen yehanaf v'sovdu derech ki yivar kimat apo ashrei kolchos abo. Gimel. Mizmor LeDavid bavarcho b'mei Hashalom b'no. Adonai ma rabu tzorit rabim komim oloi. Rabim omer l'nafshi ein shosolo v'elohim selo. V'ato Adonai mogein ba'adi kavodi meirim roshi. Koli el Adonai ekrovi anin mehar kodsho sela. Ani shachafti v'oshina ekitzotzi ki Adonai yismacheni lo ira mirvos am asher shosu aloi. Fumo Adonai hoshieni Elohai ki kisas koloi v'lechi shine b'shem shibarto l'Adonai Yeshua amcha b'chasecha sela. Daled lamnatzech benginos mizmor LeDavid v'kari aneni Elohei tzidki Batzor Chavtali, Chaneni Ushma Tefilosi, B'nei Ish Admeh Kavodi Lechlimo Te'avonu Rik, Tevakshu Chozov Sela, Udu Ki Iflo Adonai Choselo, Adonai Yishma B'Kori Elov, Rigzu Val Techeto, Imru B'Vavchem Al Mishkavchem, Domu Sela, Zivchu Zivchei Tzedek Ubidchu El Adonai, Rabbim Omrim, Mi Yarenu Tov Nasolenu Or Panecho Adonai, Masatu simcha v'libi me'ez tigonam v'tzirosham rabu. Shalom yachto v'eshkavo v'ishon ki ato Adonai levadod levetach toshiveni. Hey, lamnatzeach el anachilos mizmor LeDavid amorai hazino Adonai bina hagigi. Hakshiva l'kol shavi malki ve'elohoi ke'elech esmalol. Adonai boke tishma kuli boke arok l'cha v'atzapeh. Kilo el chafetz resha ato lo yugorchu ra. Lo yisatzu hoylim leneged einecha sonezakol polioven. Tabed derei chazod ish tamim umirma yosev Adonai v'ani barov chazko avovesecha ashtach v'elhekel kochcha b'yirosecha Adonai necheni b'tzidkosecha l'man shoroi hayishal l'fanai darkecha ki ein pefiu nechona b'kirbam havos kever pasua halikun ha'ashimem Elohim yiplu mimo atzosehem Rov k'shayam adichem k'mo uvach yisbuchu kosei bach l'olam yiranenu v'sosech l'omo v'yaltzu v'cha oavei shemecha ki ato tevarech tzadik Adonai katzina rotzon ta'atrenu Vav lamnatzer b'neginos al hashminas mizmor LeDavid Adonai al bi'abachoch sochichen v'yabachamoscha siyasreni choneni Adonai ki ulan oni rafini Adonai ki nevalu atzomai v'nafshi nevalo Ma'od v'ato Adonai ad Mosai shuv Adonai chaltz nafshi hosheinu l'man chastecha ki ein bal moves zechrech b'shoil miyoydelach yogati v'anchosi asa b'chalayla mitasi b'demosi asi amseh osha mikaseni osko b'chol soroi suri menu kol palayaven kishwan Adonai kol b'chi shema Adonai t'chinasi Adonai tefilasi yikach yevoshu yibalu ma'od kol oiva yeshuvu yevoshu roga Zion. Shigoin LeDavid Asher Shor Ladonai Al Derei Kush Ben Yemini Adonai Elohai b'chos chosisi hoshieni mikol rodfai v'tzileni. Pen yutruf k'ayei nafshi porik ve'ein matzil. Adonai Elohai imosisi zos im yesh avot b'kapoi. Im gomalti sholmi rov v'alchaltzot tzori rekam. Yiradof oyev nafshi v'yasagir v'yamos l'oretz chayoi. V'kavodi l'fay yashkein sela. Kum Adonai ba'pechi nosi ba'avros tzoroi v'urei lai mishvat tzivisa. Adas lumim t'soivavecha v'oleach l'maram shuva. Adonai yadin amim shafteni Adonai ketzitki uchasumi Eloi yigmor no ra rishoim yitzchonen ein tzadik uvochen libos ukloyos alim tzadik magini al Elohim Moshia Yishrei leiv Elohim shofet tzadik ve'el zoim b'chol yom im lo yeshuv charbo yiltosh kashto darach v'yichonanel v'lo eichen klei moves v'chitza l'dolkim yipol hina yechabel oven v'horo amal v'yolad sheker or Kora v'yach perei v'yipol b'shachas yifol Yoshev amolo b'rosho al kodko chamoso yered Od Adonai kitzitko v'azam Hashem Adonai Elyon Ches Lamnatzeach al agitis m'admo l'David Adonai Adonenu moadir shimcho b'chol haaretz asher tano hoidcha al hashemayim mipi oilim yonkim yisarat ha'oiz l'man tzorech l'ashvis oyev u'misnakeim ki yareh shomecho maset fa'osecho Yarech chachovim asher kananto. Ma anosh kises kerenu uveradam kisif ketenu. Atach sareu ma'ad me'elohim uchvod v'hodod ha'atreu. Tamshileu b'maseh yadecho kol shato tachas raglov. Son of Allah from kula magam ba'amos sodoi. Sipor shemayim udigei hayom oiver orchos yamim. Adonai Adonenu moadir shimcha b'chol ha'oretz. Tes. Lamnatzech almus labein mizmor David oida Adonai b'chol libi asab b'chol neflosecha es b'chol ve'el tzahov bach azam b'shimcha elyon v'shuv oivai ochor yukoshu yevodu mipanecha ki osis mishpati v'dini yoshavta v'gisei shafet tzedek v'alto goyim ibadet orosho shemon mochisa la'olam v'ed ha'oyev tamu chorovos lo netzach v'arm nasash t'avad zekram hema Adonai la'olam yeshiv konin l'mishpar kiso u'yishpar tevel b'tzedek yedin l'umim b'meisharim v'hi Adonai miskov l'adach miskov li'itos b'tzara v'yiftach b'chol yedei shemecha gilu azavta t'oshechal Adonai zamri l'Adonai yoshiv tzion hi agidu v'amim ali loisav hi dareshirim oisom zachor lo shachat tza'akas anavim chaneni Adonai re'ei ani misonoi meromami misharei maves l'man asab b'kol tilosecha b'sharei b'atzion agilu v'shosecha Tovu goyim b'shachas asu beresh zu tamanu l'nkolo raglam. Noda Adonai mishpat asa b'poyal kapov nokesh Russia higoyim sela. Yoshu risham l'shola kol goyim shechechi Elohim ki lola netzach yishachach avyon tikvas aniyim tovad lo'ad. Kumo Adonai al yoz anosh yishpotu goyim al panecho shiisa Adonai moro lohem yedu goyim enosh hemos sela. Yud. Loma Adonai tamod barochok talam liitos batzar bagavas rosh yidlak oni yitavsu b'mizimus zu choshavu ki hilel rosh al tavas nafsho uvotzea berach ni'etz Adonai rosha kigova apo pal didroish ein Elohim kol mizmosov yochilu d'rocha b'choleis moro mishpatecha minegdo kol tzaro yofiach behem omar belibo balamoit l'dor v'dor asher lo v'ro Olafiu malay umirmos fasach tzachas lashono amol va'aved. Yeshev v'marov chatzerim v'misturim yago noki enov l'chelcha yitzponu ye'arov v'mispor karyeh b'suko ye'arov l'chatof ani yachtof ani v'moshcho v'rishto yidkes yoshoach v'nofal b'atzum v'chel koim amar b'libo shochach il histir b'nov ba'al re'ol l'netzach Kumu Adonai anoso yodecha Al tishkach hanovim, al men ne'etz rosh Elohim, omar b'lo lo sedroish. V'yisu kiyato amo v'chaz tabit lo seis b'yadecho, olecha yazov chelecha yosom ato yiso ozer, shvor zero rosh or v'rosh, tidro shisho bal timso Adonai melech olam v'ed, ovdu goy me'atzo, ta'avas anovim shemato Adonai tochen libam takshiv oznecha lishbod yosom v'doch, Al Yosef Ola Rotz Enosh Min Haaretz. Yud Aleph. Lamnatzeach LeDavid Ba'Adonai Chosisi Eich Ta'amun L'Nafshi Nudi hachem tzipor, ki hinei harishon yirchon keshes. Kornu chitzam al yetzer liros b'mo ofel yishrei lev. Ki hashosus yeherosun tzedek mapol. Adonai behechal kodsho, Adonai b'shrayim keso. Einov yechazu apapov yevachanu b'nei Adam. Adonai tzedek yevchan v'rosho v'ohev chamos no nasho. Yamtir al rishon pachim eish v'kofris ruach zelafos benos kosom. Ki tzedek Adonai tzedakos ohev yosher yechazu panemo. Yud Beis. Olam natzech al hashminis mizmor LeDavid. Hashi Adonai ki gomar chassid ki pasu min b'nei Adam. Shav yidabru ish esrayeu sefas chalakos b'lev v'lev yidaberu. Yachreit Adonai kol sifsei chalakos loshem medaberes gedolos. Asher amru l'lshonenu nagbir sefosenu itonu mi adon lanu. Hishod aniyim ben kasa v'yonim ato okum yamar Adonai ashis b'yeshu yofiach lo. Imrois Adonai amoros toros kesef tzoruf ba'alil horetz b'zukok shevosoyim ato Adonai tishmerem titzrenu min hador zula olam saviv yishem yisalechum kuram zula savnei adam lam natseach mizmor LeDavid ad ono Adonai tishkolcheinu netzach ad ono tastir as panechem imeni ad ono ashis eitzos benavshi Yogoin belavavi yoimam. Ad ono yirun oivi Allah. Olai habito anini Adonai Elohai ho'ira einai pen ishon hamaves. Pen yomoi oivai yochaltiv tzara yogilu ki amot. La'ani b'chastocha b'tachti yogel livi vishuasecha ashir ol Adonai ki gomal olai. Lamnatseach LeDavid. Omar novel belivo ein Elohim ishchisu his evo alila ein oisa tov Adonai mishmaim hishkif al bnei Adam lirois yayesh maskil deresh es Elohim hakol soar yachtud me'alochu ein oisa tov ein gam echod alo yadu kol polei oven ochlei ami ochlulech Adonai lo karo Shom pacharu pachad ki Elohim b'dor tzadik atzas adit tzadishu ki adon ki shom pachad halo yadu kol v'yavin ochli amo ochlulech manalei lo karo shom pacharu pachad ki Elohim b'dor tzadik atzas adit tzadishu ki Adonai machaseyu ki yitem yitzion yishos Yisrael b'shon Adonai shos amo Yogel Yaakov Yismach Yisrael.
Mizmor LeDavid, Adonai Roi Lo Echsar, Binos Desha Yarbitzeni Ameimenu Chostina Aleini, Nafshi Yishovev Yamcheni B'Magleit Zedek L'man Shemo, Gam Ki Eleich B'Geit Samaves Lo Irara Ki Atoi Modi, Shiftecho Mishantecho Himi Yinachamuni, Taroch Lefonai Shulcha Neged Zoroi, Dishanta Vashemen Roshi Kosi Rivoya, Ach tov v'chesed yirtefuni kol yemei chayoi v'shavti b'veis Adonai liorech yamim. It's hard to think of a funeral that Eishes Chayil could be more appropriate to say. Eishes Chayil miyimtza v'rachok mipninim michra b'atach ba'alev ba'alav v'shalom lo yachsar G'mal asu tov v'lo ra kol yemei chayeha. Darshat semer ufishtim v'atas b'chefetz kapeha. Haisa kaniyos socher mimerchak tavi lachma. V'atakam bi'odayla v'atiten teref l'veisa v'choklen aroseha. Zamimasa devati kacheyu mipri chapea nata karem. Chagra v'yos masneha v'atam meitz roseha. Tu'ama ki tov sachra. Lo yichve v'layla neira. Yodea shilcha v'kishur v'chapea v'chapea tam chufalech. Kappa parselo ani v'yodea shilchalu evyon. Lo sira leveisa mishale ki cho beisa lavushanim. Marvadim asasala sheish v'argaman lavusha. Noda basharim ba'ala b'shivtoim ziknei aretz. Sa'adina asasavatim kor v'chagor nasna laknani. Oz v'hadar levusha v'tischak liyom acharon. Pia pascha v'chachma v'soras chesed al l'shona. Sophia lichos beisav lechem atzlus lo sochel. Kamu vaner vayashrua va'alav vayhalala. Rabos banos asuchoyil v'atalis al kulana. Sheker hachein v'hevel hayofi. Isha yiras Adonai hisis halal. Tnula mipri yodeha v'halalua v'asharim maaseha. So many of us are gathered to pay kavod to really an extraordinary human being. And there's so much that could be said. Imagine if we would go around the room. How many things would people have to say? So many things to say. But the halacha tells us that on Chol HaMoed we really don't have hespedim. We really don't have eulogies. And I know what people are thinking, on Chol HaMoed we really don't have eulogies. And so, much to my dismay, and to the family's dismay, and to I'm sure all of your dismay, we're not going to have speeches. I'm just going to speak just for a few minutes, and Be'ezras Hashem will have more opportunities to come together as a community to reflect on and learn from an extraordinary person, Simi Rachel Bas Menachem Mendel, Simi Franco. But I want to say really just 1, 2, 3 things, simple points, just maybe to think about. One is so obvious. The greatest hesped doesn't have to be said. The greatest hesped, the greatest eulogy, is the number of people in this room in the middle of the day on Chol HaMoed on a few hours' notice. The greatest hesped is over 1,000 people signed up on a WhatsApp, constantly saying Tehillim at all hours. Ask yourself if these things are normal. Ask yourself if these things are common. And ask yourself what it is about this person. And the rest is just filling in the blanks. I want to ask a question that I'm sure is on many people's minds. Did it really have to be on Pesach? Pesach, such a special holiday, such a glorious holiday. Of course, the family will always remember Chol HaMoed Pesach, but how many people not in the family in here will always remember Chol HaMoed Pesach? HaKadosh Baruch Hu, did it really have to be Pesach? And we don't understand, and we don't know the ways of Hashem. But I just want to share with you one thought, which to me personally is somewhat of a consolation. Maybe it'll resonate with some of you. It's a very interesting maral that talks about the Korban Pesach. The Korban Pesach, of course, is the central avoda, the central sacrifice brought by Klal Yisrael, brought by the Jewish people, leading up to the glorious holiday in which we currently find ourselves. And the Maral says there are a number of interesting things about the Korban Pesach. The halacha is that various people would come together for one Korban Pesach. You had to decide what group you were in. You would come together for one Korban Pesach. You couldn't be involved in multiple Korban Pesachs. Whatever Korban Pesach you were in, you were in. You could have one family come together. You could have multiple families. You could have multiple individuals come together. One interesting halacha. Why it's so important to have different people coming together. And then once they come together, they stay as one. The halacha with the Korban Pesach is it had to be roasted. You wouldn't cook the Korban Pesach. What's so important about cooking versus roasting? You roasted it over an open fire. And finally, though, there are other halachos. The last halacha we'll focus on is you weren't supposed to break the bones of the Korban Pesach. Okay? The Maharal says each of these three things come together to one core theme. The Korban Pesach is all about recognizing that there are disparate things that happen in this world. There are separate things that we could never imagine come from the same source. And on Pesach, the Jewish people come, bring the Korban Pesach, and they say, we recognize it's all from God. The Jewish people didn't understand why they were slaves in Egypt so long. They didn't understand why they were fortunate enough to be brought out of Egypt with these remarkable miracles and wonders. The Korban Pesach is about saying, we don't know why this benevolent God would cause us these problems for all these years. But we believe it's all from one source. Different people come together for one offering. When you roast the meat over open fire, all the liquid comes out, the meat comes together in a stronger way. You don't break the bones, you don't separate. He says that the avoda of the Korban Pesach is not just for the Jewish people to recognize that God did great wonders for them by taking them out of Egypt. The avoda of the Korban Pesach is to say, God also put us in Egypt and put us in slavery in Egypt. And we have no idea why, but we recognize it's from the same God. So many of us looked at Simi for so many years and asked, why does it have to be so difficult? Why does it have to be so hard? And only HaKadosh Baruch Hu knows the answer to that question. But I just want to point out one thing. The same God who brought all those difficulties for inexplicable reasons gave us all the opportunity to see such greatness despite the difficulty. And maybe, in some ways, the difficulty maybe brought out some of her greatness, maybe made her greatness that was already there more apparent to the rest of us. We don't know. But it's a brief thought to think about that, yes, Pesach is the holiday on which we celebrate great things, joyous things. According to the Maharal, Pesach is also the holiday that we recognize that different things come together for greater purposes. And it's so sad to have this beloved person gone. But we're so fortunate that we knew her. We're so fortunate that we knew her. The fact that she was who she was is why there are so many people here today. You know, I want to thank all these chairs were set up by volunteers today. Because of another religious holiday, we didn't have our regular staff. I don't know. I don't think it's a coincidence that so many people extended themselves in honor of Simi Franco. Isn't it a fair thing to say that so many of us in our lives, and I thank those people very much, but isn't it a fair thing to say that so many of us in our lives have learned to extend ourselves just a little bit further because of Simi? Just one more thought. It's one thing to come together in shul where there are going to be numerous speeches. I was speaking to Sammy this morning. I said, Sammy, I just want you to understand there's just going to be one brief speech. That's it. Are you sure? We could do graveside if you want. And Sammy said what I hope he would say. Simi is fundamentally connected to the shul. How could we not say goodbye to Simi in this building? I was thinking to myself a moment ago, my gosh, how many funerals that have I conducted in this room? And I looked out and there was Simi. She knew the person well, she didn't know the person well, there was Simi. I'll tell you one more thing. How many times were the chairs set up? Because Simi was schlepping the chairs all over the place. So I want to speak on behalf, of course, I'm speaking on behalf of the broader community, but I really have the license to speak on behalf of this shul. Thank you. Thank you for giving us the opportunity. I want to ask Mechila. Myself. There's no way I was thankful enough. There's no way I was grateful enough. There's no way I had enough sensitivity as to what to put on you and what to not put on you. And I speak on behalf of all of us. There's no way that we thanked you enough. There's no way we appreciated enough what you did. I think I've already gone over the line. I'm sure I've gone over the line. We'll have more opportunities to eulogize her in a more appropriate way. There's so much more to say. We'll say one more chapter of Tehillim. Ashrei haish asher lo halach batzas v'shoim v'derech chatoim lo amad uv'moshav litzim lo yashav ki im besoras Adonai chavtzov soraso yageh yomam v'loyla v'yakeh shasul al palgei moyim asher piryo yitain b'itov v'oleu lo yibo v'chol asher yaseh yatzliach lo chen harshaim ki im kamotz asher tidfen ruach Al kain lo yakum rishoyim b'mishpat v'chatat im badas tzadikim ki yodei Adonai derech tzadikim v'derech rishoyim toved. We'll ask Rabbi Levi now to do the Sephardi practice of Hatarat Nedarim.
מוכרים לכם, מוכרים לכם, מוכרים לכם, מוכרים לכם, מוכרים לכם, מוכרים לכם, שרואים לכם, שרואים לכם, שרואים לכם. אין כאן נדרים ולא שבועות ולא כוונות ולא הסכמות ולא מנהלים ולא נצרות ולא חרבים ולא נישואים ולא קיימות. אבל יש כאן בחירה ובחירה וכפרה ששקים ומומחים לכם ואם שמעת אפשר יתחילו ויתחילו לכם ואם שמעת ושר אבותינו כולם מותרים לך, מותרים לך, כולם מותרים לך, מותרים לך, מותרים לך, מותרים לך, מותרים לך, שרים לך, שרים לך, שרים לך, אין כלום מותרים ולא שבועות, לא כבוד ולא כבוד ולא נעים, לא נזידות, לא רחמים, לא סורים ולא קונמות, ויש כאן מחילה, סליחה וכפרה, שם שהסכימו להיטיב לכם, לאחר פשעים של מטה, כאן יסכימו להיטיב לך, פשעים של מעלה, כולנו מותרים לך, מותרים לך, מותרים לך, מותרים לך, מותרים לך, שרים לך, שרים
We wish much Nechama to Mrs. Rattenberg and Sammy and Nathan and Abby and Mikey and Luna and Jesse and all of the children-in-law and all of the grandchildren and Mindy and Jerry and all of the nieces and nephews and cousins. If any of the immediate family would like to just go up and privately ask Mechila, you're welcome to do it at this point in time, if anyone would like to. In a moment, we're going to take the Nifteris out. I have a favor to ask. There are so many people who have so much love and admiration for so many different members of the Franco and Rottenberg families. We do need to get to the cemetery. So I'll just ask people to please let the family members get into the cars and go. We were not going to get there remotely, and then we need to get there if everyone has the chance to speak to them. What we're going to do is we're going to follow the casket out. All the people in the doors and in are going to need to head out to the lobby in a moment. Not yet, but just so that we can get out. Whoever would like can follow the casket to the hearse. We'll have the ability to follow the hearse by foot as it goes slowly up the hill. And then at that point, whoever would like to go on to Mount Lebanon Cemetery is welcome to follow in the procession. Again, the burial will be at Mount Lebanon Cemetery. Just to be very clear, Shiva does not begin until Thursday night. Shiva does not begin until Thursday night, immediately following Yom Tiv. Another wrinkle that's uncommon, Shiva ends Wednesday morning. So Shiva begins Thursday night. It will be at the home of Sammy and Simi Franco. Shiva begins Thursday night and ends Wednesday morning. We'll send out details about the Shiva very soon. If I could I just want to give one note of thanks. It wasn't clear I was going to make it on time to the funeral, and Rabbi Frank was kind enough to be ready to stand in, so I want to publicly thank Rabbi Frank for that. If the pallbearers would please come forward.
Gracias.